But you see, the idea that there are no wrong feelings is an immensely threatening idea to people who are afraid to feel in any case. And this is one of the peculiar problems of our culture, that we are terrified of our feelings because they take off on their own. And we think that if we give them any scope, and if we don't immediately beat them down, they will lead us into all kinds of chaotic and destructive action. Because what is problematic for Western man is not so much his struggles with other people and their needs and their problems as his struggle with his own feelings.
Now, here's a little story I got to tell.
All love, no hate. Episode number 58. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. This is Giants Amongst Us, a place where we share in the unique human experience, and this is where you're going to hear real stories that are told by real people. People just like yourself.
No matter where you're at right now or how deep a hole there is, there's always a rope to grab. It's just a matter of how you're going to use it.
And the feeling I got after I would write an incident that happened growing up, it was like the world was lifted off my shoulders and I became addicted to that feeling.
The Jesuits will tell you, give me the boy from 1 to 7 and I'll show you the man. Well, the 1 to 7 for me was chaos, that ended with the death of my very dear brother.
It's good to be back for another sit down and to break bread with To Whom It May Concern. If this is your first time, kick your feet up. Please do stay a while. And if you've listened to the show once or twice, if you've been here before, appreciate you just the same. A little house cleaning before I get into it. Before I even get into that, I hope you're having a good day. I hope things are going well in your end. Your health is holding up. Not just holding up, but you're feeling healthy. Your energy levels are at rare form, top peak. Your stress levels are low. Your motivation and drive is at an all-time high. No, but I hope that everything is good with you and yours. And what I wanted to say before I get into this talk today, because it's going to be solo-bolo. I do have a story which I'll be sharing at the end of this month with Patricia, and she's going to be talking about her healing and recovery journey through the abuse that she suffered early on in her life at 6 years of age. She has quite the story. She's been through a lot and she is doing much better for herself these days. She has a service dog. She has her loving and wonderful husband by her side. And I look forward to sharing that conversation in the upcoming week. And as far as the few things I wanted to mention beforehand, before I get into this little talk, this little breaking bread, this little sharing of the heart and some of my convictions, what weighs on me at times and what I'd like to express out, and maybe it finds a place with somebody on the other end. Before all that, ways that you can keep in contact with us, get in contact with us. The website is giantsamongustus.org. That's hometown, that's home base, and it's where you can reach out to us. You can leave a voice note. You can listen to past stories and past guests talk about the experiences that has made and shaped them into the individual that they are today. The trials and the tribulations and how they were able to overcome and deal with the adversities that were significant to them. You'll find articles, you'll find blogs, you'll find all that information at the website. And of course, you can keep in contact with us. You can stay connected with us. It's a two-way conversation. I'm about growing and building together. So with that out the way, to get into what I wanted to talk about today on the open airwaves, because this is something that I use, this medium right here, me speaking into a microphone, and it falling on the ears of whoever it falls on. Maybe one or two people happen to hear this and it speaks to them in their situation that they're dealing with right now today. Because I think it's safe to say that anybody who's listening to the show is on the same wavelength as development, growing, maturing, and trying to get to their true essence and to embrace their individual experience and to become people that are able to express their full potential, to actualize our potential, and to not just wither away or allow talents to waste or to box ourselves in or to be boxed in or to be sold a story and a lie and to live that, robbing ourselves of an individual experience. So that was my long-winded way of saying that when I do these episodes, these in between the stories, these talks really, it's just about sharing some things that I'm dealing with, that I'm working on, and I'm trying to apply in my own life. I guess you could say it's some type of digital diary of my soul's evolution. How about that? And one of those things is feelings. I think now it's a bit more accepted for men to talk about their feelings, to talk about their mental state of mind, to express themselves, to embrace their emotions. That's the duality of it all. You have reason, you have logic, but you also have emotion. You have imagination, you have intuition, you have the yin and the yang. You have the feminine and the masculine. To be one-sided or to favor only one side is not being whole. So I say that because feelings, getting back to the feels, to feel an emotion, to really let them turn you from the inside out. That's something that in my later years, I'm learning to do, not just to shut them off too quick and too fast, because I've done that a million times over. Either afraid to express myself, too ashamed to express myself, or to hide and suppress my feelings, to run away from what I'm feeling, to shut it off. Distractions can help take away some of their steam, and drugs might even help put them to sleep. But how long does that last? They're still there, even if they're sitting dormant, and on occasion, maybe more than on occasion, but throughout the day, there's little things that trigger them, and you're trying to figure out, and you're at a loss of where is this coming from? It feels like I'm beside myself. So much is taking us away from the moment. This is like me also talking to myself, and with these talks, writing things out, trying to give myself a space where I'm in meditation or reflecting or just experiencing the moment and what I'm feeling at a particular time. That's new to me, but that can be the help to start setting you in a direction that can lead you to some answers as to why you do certain things, why you feel a certain way, and maybe what has been some of the building blocks to make up the personality and the characteristical traits that you carry, reflect, and you manifest in your own life. Like I was saying, so much takes us away from the moment, from ourselves, and the experience of it all, of living, of being, of truly being and expressing yourself in the life that you live. To live and to be is truly becoming a lost art. I mean, let's just take the infrastructures that have been set in place. We're living in modernity, and I always go to it because this is the signs of the time. I mean, this is the new world that we live in. And not to say that technology is the devil, but there are infrastructures set in place specifically to hijack reality and to skin our sovereignty and sense of self bare, naked. And the digital space has only exaggerated this truth. Eric Schmidt and Jared Cohen, in their book, The Digital Age, Reshaping the Future of People, Nations, and Business. To quote them, they say, "Only when we have their attention can we hope to win their hearts and their minds." And you look around, We don't even have to step outside anymore because we carry this thing with us at all times. It's now an extension of ourselves. But what do you have on a constant basis that is crying for your attention, that is robbing your attention, that is after your attention, that has your attention? Only you can answer it. And as much as Eric Schmidt, who was the former Google CEO, and these other technocrats like to glorify a world where the AI machines break the barriers and become self-governed, these sentient beings you hear about, where they're able to reason, to remember, and to act alone. In essence, to be more human-like. Maybe you've heard them talk about that. But I'm going to disagree. I'm saying that couldn't be further from the truth. But with a little bit of bending and sacrificial willingness, they can possess and host the human body. I'm sure you heard of them before, these BCIs, the brain-computer interfaces.
Yeah, transhumanism is this, the ideal was this radical transformation where your human natural body gets transformed into an immortal body. And there's a critique of, let's say, the trans people in a sexual context, or a transvestite is someone who changes their clothes and cross-dresses. And a transsexual is someone where you change your penis into a vagina. And we can then debate how well those surgeries work. But we want more transformation than that. The critique is not that it's weird and unnatural. It's so pathetically little. And we want more than cross-dressing or changing your sex organs. We want you to be able to change your heart and change your mind and change your whole body.
And not to knock them, not to discredit them, not to say that this is the technology of the devil, because they will have their use cases, like for illness, disease, and these other brain-related disorders. And that's usually how most new pieces of technology are. They're praised, and in order for people to jump up and be willing to take them into adoption or to adopt these new pieces of technology, of course, the use cases are going to be praised. They're going to be talked about, bullet pointed. But what I'm afraid will happen, if not already, is their marketing and commercialization to everyone. And not to go longer on this point, but just to illustrate how this could be done, how people would be so willing to accept this into their lives and totally allow it to control and to dictate every aspect of their lives. All you have to do is look around. Endless wars, civil unrest, one crisis after another, terrorists, if not local, then they're abroad, and sometimes without a face but a virus. It can make us feel as if reality is overrated, it's boring, it's scary, and we're just too powerless to change it. And that is the perfect breeding ground for a multi-billion-dollar industry to make its move on society in the minds of billions of people through entertainment, gaming, virtual reality, and other forms of neural weapons of manipulation.
Again, I think that the biggest question maybe in economics and politics of the coming decades will be what to do with all these useless people. I don't think we have an economic model for that. My best guess, which is just a guess, is that food will not be a problem. With that kind of technology, you will be able to produce food to feed everybody. The problem is more boredom and what to do with them, and how will they find some sense of meaning in life when they are basically meaningless, worthless. My best guess at present is a combination of drugs and computer games.
I was doing a little bit of back reading and some research as I was going through these thoughts, and one of the websites I came across is visionofhumanity.org, breakthroughs in neuroscience shaping the new frontier of weaponry. And in that article, one of the last paragraphs reads, quote, "New and possible future neural weapons include the enhancement of neural and cognitive capabilities of intelligence personnel and troops through brain-machine interfaces, BMI, and machine-brain interfaces, MBI. There will be improved forecasting of crowd or enemy behavior." Now, what qualifies someone as being an enemy? I'll leave that up to you. "Through BMI and applications of brain imaging technologies to representative or key individuals, applications of neuroscience will be able to better recognize and potentially manipulate people, group identities, and norms across cultures." End quote. From ancient Rome to modern times, it's bred in circuses all over again. All this is meant to distract us from ourselves. It takes us away from our connection to spirit, the universal mind, love, the all-encompassing energy and force field that we are a part of, however you want to put that. It takes us away from our connection to nature, emotion, intuition, imagination, reason, love. And these are the true ingredients that help with framing and building a reality beyond the illusion they're trying to impose on us, the illusion that they have imposed on us. And this happens by simply being, stopping and asking ourselves just a question. What is your individual experience? Have you stopped running, hiding, or trying anxiously to lose yourself in a story that isn't yours? Some say the eyes never lie, and others have said the body keeps the score. To get back to the feels and the experience of it all with awareness, attention, stillness, and simply being. The veil slowly starts to fall and masks crack. Like a candle lit, your inner world comes to life. It's medicine, poisons, treasures, phantoms. This is part of what being human is. It's what separates us from the machine. Someone who's embraced the totality of their own individual experience is someone who is very hard to control, deceive, and manipulate. And that is why they're spending billions to actively distract, disempower, and destroy the individual self in each one of us. This is a war that will not be televised, and it's already happening in 4D effect. I want to end this with a quote from Eric Fromm. I've been reading his book, Escape from Freedom, and it's a real good read. I highly recommend it, but I want to end this talk with the quote from him. It reads, "Let your mind start a journey through a strange new world. Leave all thoughts of the world you knew before. Let your soul take you where you long to be. Close your eyes, let your spirit start to soar, and you'll live as you've never lived before." I look forward to sharing this up and coming conversation with you all. I want to wish you all a great rest of the week. Let me know how you feel about this talk. If there was anything in particular that struck a chord with you, you know where to find us. You be safe out there. You be sane. Be the change you wish to see. And before I leave off, let me just remind you that if you would like to be a part of the show and share your story, or even a story of someone in your life that has impacted you in a positive way, you could always reach out to us via email. I'd be happy to connect. Until next time, and very soon. Peace.
I'm looking for a sign to know I'm on the right road. Ain't seen no sign since Jericho.